Welcome guys, welcome back to my live. Welcome to those on Instagram and also to those of you watching on Facebook. Thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you for stopping by, and of course thank you for those of you who will be staying in. Okay, so we ask you to share the live as usual and tell us where you are watching from so that we can give you a shout out. Today's dinner is inspired once more by Italian cuisine. So we'll be making the following dishes. The entree is inspired by Italian cuisine. We're making a sauce. It's called a Punta Nesco. Basically, it is a tomato sauce that is flavored with anchovies, capers, wine. The wine is kind of optional, herbs, and some good stuff. I'll show you how simple it is to make as we go along. And then we want to make a garlic bread, a garlic flatbread to be exact, to go with that. And then for dessert, I was inspired by the Italian dessert, panna cotta, which basically means cooked cream. That is a dessert that is usually set with gelatin. It's a cold dessert. So today I'm going to be making a pumpkin tart. A tart usually has a pastry and of course a filling. And in everything I make, I like to incorporate some kind of Jamaican ingredients. So hence the pumpkin. Pumpkin is kind of universal, but you know, pumpkin is a Jamaican thing. We put it in soup, we put it in punches. So guys, welcome to you on Instagram. Welcome to those looking in on Facebook. So, let's start with dessert. Hey Cheryl. In this container, I have half cup of sugar. What we're going to be doing is to make our custard for a pumpkin tart. A custard is made with egg. It is thickened with egg protein. So we have two types of custard. We have what we call a stirred custard and we have a baked custard. And this one is a little bit of both. So sugar for sweet. Then I have 4 eggs. I already break my eggs, and I have what is going to be about half cup of pumpkin that I boiled and a tablespoon of vanilla. I really love the vanilla taste coming through in here. I'm going to be adding a secondary binder. This is flour, 2 tablespoons. What the flour does during that baking for this particular tart, it will prevent our custard from breaking. So I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of flour and a teaspoon of ginger, because ginger goes so nicely with pumpkin. And then finally, to put it all together, I have 1 cup of milk that I heated up. Let me just turn it so that our Facebook friends can see as well. So this is 1 cup of milk. I heat up the milk just to make sure that as soon as the custard goes into the oven, there's no delay, because everything is nice and warm. It's just start cooking nice and slow. So this is going to get pureed, and then we're going to put our dessert together.
Sue says hi.
Hi, Sue. And we are done. How fast is that? Now you could really make this with your hand, but I prefer to make it in the blender because it goes so much faster.
Pretty says hi, Chef, joining from Brooklyn.
Hi, who's that?
Pretty.
Hi, Pretty. So guys, I'm just gonna quickly wash my pot because I'm gonna use it for my tomato sauce.
My cousin's catering says good evening, Chef and family.
Good evening. Okay, so our pot is clean. Just gonna put it back on. Get ready for tomato sauce. Jacoby, could you just bring the pastry for our custard, please? All right, guys, so I have a strainer and a I'm going to strain it in a measuring cup. I do the straining just to make sure that the finished custard is lump free. So I like to strain it. This custard is almost like a creme brulee. If you've ever had a creme brulee, this is like a creme brulee that is set into a pastry shell. Just put it right there, Jacoby. Put it on the countertop. Thank you.
Maya Davidson, hello.
Hey, Moya.
Chris Reed says, have you tried the brand Silva pasta?
No, not yet.
Patricia Brown, good evening, family.
Hey, sis.
Cherry Moore says, hi, Cherry in the house.
Hey, Cherry. Welcome. Alright, guys. So, because we blend this, I hear my oven went off. I had it preheated, so I'm turning it back on. So, because we blend our custard, a little bit of air is incorporated in it. So what I like to do is just give it a mix around so that that foam that was created by the air just kind of disappear. And now we are all good. I want to give it a taste to make sure it's sweet enough. It tastes like pumpkin. It tastes like cream. It tastes like everything that we put in it. But I want to put some nutmeg. So I'm just going to grate some nutmeg in it because I like the flavor that nutmeg brings to the party. And I think we're good to go. So this is puff pastry that I'm using. I had puff pastry in my fridge, so I'm using puff pastry. So I just roll it out, cut it in a circle, and fit it in my muffin pan right here. So I'm just going to fill it 3/4 of the way up. Let me turn my stove down. And a custard is a very delicate thing to bake. If you bake it at too much of a high temperature, it's going to break. And by breaking, I mean the finished custard will have a curdled kind of look to it. So you want to bake it at a very gentle temperature, like 300.
Marlon Morgan, could cinnamon powder be used, be added as well?
Definitely. I'm looking for my towel to clean up my spill. Okay, so guys, so I have that in my muffin pan. And then I have these in my little tart shell. Usually, if I was making this with a short crust pastry, I would have taken off the excess pastry that is overhanging. But because this is a puff pastry, and puff pastry is a catalog of all pastries, I'm not going to remove the extras. I just want it to bake this way. So I'm going to have more pastry to chew on. So we're just going to fill them like this. And you want to put these in a pan so that it's easy to handle them when you put them in the oven. And we're going to get a close-up from Michelia before we put them in the oven. So halfway through, we're going to be combining some cinnamon and sugar, and we're going to put them on top so that we have a nice crunchy top. You're good, Ashelia? Okay, so these are going to go into my 300 degrees Fahrenheit preheated oven. And these are going to bake for 20 minutes. And at the 20-minute mark, we will look at we'll check them and see what they look like. So, let's just clean up. And we have a little custard leaf over. I'm just going to put this out the way for now. So guys, talk to me. Tell me where you are watching from. And also share the live. Let somebody know that Chef Walker-Barrett is making dinner. We call our show Dinner from Around the World because we're inspired by every cuisine. And today we're looking at We're inspired by Italian cuisine. So I'm going to show you how to make a Putanesca sauce. This sauce is basically a tomato sauce that is filled with all kind of delicious savory taste. This sauce is perfect for a vegetarian or even a vegan. If you're a vegan and you want to make the sauce, just leave the anchovies out. If you also want to make the sauce and you want to add a little Jamaican twist to it, add some red wine. The red wine really gives the sauce a vibe. So in goes about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay.
Chris Reed says, oh wait, sorry.
And these are my prep items. These are the flavor builders for my Putanesca. I have 1 red onion finely chopped. I have 4 heads of garlic that I minced up. I have some Scotch bonnet pepper, that's a little Jamaican part of it. I have some Italian mixed herbs. And I also have some adobo. I like the adobo. The adobo is going to replace the salt in this recipe. The adobo gives it a nice little vibe. I don't think the adobo was originally a part of the recipe, but I'm adding that. So this goes into our oil, and you can hear that sizzle. So for the Facebook people, you can just give them a close-up on that. And Michelia, for the Insta people, you can give them a close-up as well. So we are going to give our onions a 1-minute head start. Onions are filled with sugars, and so too is garlic. But somehow the garlic tends to burn much faster than the onions. I think because the onion has so much more water in it. So we're sauteing our peppers and red onions, and we refer to these as flavor builders because these are the aromatic vegetables that's going to really make your sauce taste super fabulous. Now I am going to add in the minced garlic and the dried herbs. So these dried herbs, they're very robust, so you want to put them into the oil and let them release their beautiful, beautiful herbaceous flavor.
Marlon Morgan, when advising of the ingredients, it would help if you could indicate where you source them, example, the Italian mixed herbs. Thanks.
Marlon, you can message me because these people are not paying me to tell them, but if you ask me, I will tell you. My herb cabinet is always full because I am a herb and seasoning person. So most of the time I just buy my herbs online, and usually when I travel I go straight to the market first as soon as the plane lands, and I buy all kind of herbs and spices. I usually buy my spices whole so I can have them for a long time and ground them as I need them. But as it relates to in Jamaica, where you can find some of these things, there is a beautiful assortment of herbs at General Foods. I'm going to call their name because that's my supermarket. And now guys, I'm adding in the adobo.
Jerome Darnell's awesome teacher.
Thank you, Jerome. So we have all of our flavor builders in here, and my kitchen is smelling absolutely amazing. It's smelling different today, and that is the difference when you're cooking from different culture. If you're cooking another culture food, you must smell it. The kitchen cannot smell like jerk if you're not making jerk. So we're making Italian, so it is smelling that way. So I'm going to add my anchovies. But let us pause and talk about anchovies. Anchovies are a little oily fish. They look like sprats. You can get these in your supermarket. They're usually sold in a can, or let me show you what they look like. So they're sold in a can, or so for Instagram this is what they look like, and for Facebook this is what the anchovies look like. They literally look like red herring, and but they don't have that smokiness. Anchovies, you either love it or you don't, but it is often very misunderstood. It is salted, filleted, and it is packaged in a jar or in a can in oil. And then we use it to flavor sauces like these. They're fat soluble because it's an oily fish, so you want to put it in the fat. And as soon as you put it in the fat, what happens is that it just dissolves because it is fat soluble.
Shani Brown, happy Sunday, Walker-Barrett family.
Hey, Shani. So guys, while I was talking, I added a little bit more olive oil. I don't know if you guys saw that. Alright, so
Miss
now
Sunshine says, hey and good evening. The dinner menu looks delicious.
yes, so all the pasta lovers. So this is some tomato puree. So what I did with my tomatoes, I blanched them, take the seeds out, take the skin off, and then I put them in my blender and just puree them down to a pulp because I want this sauce to be smooth. So this is not tomato paste, this is tomato puree. And since tomatoes are so plentiful in the market, why not? So my tomato puree is in. And now, this is totally optional. I'm going to add some wine. As it relates to cooking wine, I usually cook the wine that tastes good to drink. Cook with the wine that tastes good to drink. So I'm adding in 1 cup of white wine. I wouldn't add red wine to this because the red wine is going to discolor the pasta. So this is a pasta dish. Whenever I'm doing a pasta class at my work, this is what I teach my students to make. And they always laugh at the name Punta Nesco, chef. What is that? And they always mispronounce the name and make fun of it until, of course, they understand what it is. So all it is, in short, it is a tomato sauce that has anchovies, onions, garlic, capers, and of course olives. These are the other ingredients. We will add these close to the end. So this is Kalamata olive. This is a black olive. It is pitted, meaning that there's no seed. And these are capers. Capers are grown a lot in the Mediterranean. They grow on a shrub and they're always sold brined. They're never sold fresh. Okay, and then I have some beautiful cherry tomatoes that I'm going to be adding in later on. And then for protein, I have some salmon. I'm going to just saute up the salmon, and this is going to get poured over our pasta just to complete the dish. But the sauce is the Putanesca. And so all my sauce need right now is some water. So I'm adding in ½ cup of water, and then I'm just going to cover it.
Kamara Whittingham, Upper Milliam at Top Culinary and Simone Walker-Barrett. That's all.
Hey Kamar, thank you. And we're going to just let it stay here and cook while we stir it occasionally. And then I might add a little sweetener in there, just a little bit of sugar or a little bit of honey, just to offset the tartness. So
Person's catering is looking delicious.
Thank you. So guys, we're gonna go now to our bread. So our sauce is cooking, and then this is my garlic bread dough. I did not make it on camera. I made it ahead of time because, you know, this is yeast, and yeast takes a little time to ferment and to do its thing. So this was 2 cups of flour. It has doubled in size, so now I'm going to roll it out. Let's put some flour on my board, and we're just going to remove it, and I'm going to give it a knead. You just want to knead it like dumpling. So let's talk about this. This is almost like a focaccia. I have problem pronouncing that word, so I just like to say flatbread. So this is my version of the Italian flatbread, and I'm going to divide this into 3 parts. As a matter of fact, I'm going to divide it in 4 parts because it's 4 of us. And I'm going to make 4 individual breads. Okay, so we want to just round everything, and we're going to let them hang out on the countertop and go through a little process that is called benching. Okay, while I get my pan and my toppings ready, I'm not going to go crazy with the toppings tonight. I'm just going to put some garlic powder and some herbs and some olive oil. Jacoby, can you reach the container with the Italian seasoning for me, please? So guys, I'm trying to find my pan for the bread. So I'm using my pizza pan to bake our bread on. It's nice to make bread, flatbreads on a perforated pan, so that's what I'm doing. So, did you find that seasoning, child? I'm looking at it, it's on the shelf. Yeah, that's it. So, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my hand to it, just like this. Thank you. And I want to flatten them out to about 6 inches. Or that look like about 5 inches. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Just use your hand and shape it into a 1 inch, ½ inch, whatever, thick circle. And so you could put whatever toppings you like on this. But I'm going to be putting garlic powder and herbs. So before I do that, I want to drizzle on some olive oil. Jacoby, bring that garlic powder to me. Thank you very much. So I'm putting about ½ teaspoon of olive oil on each of my bread. And then I'm going to sprinkle on some Italian season. The Italian seasoning is a combination of herbs. It has basil, marjoram, thyme, oregano, rosemary, lots and lots of good stuff. And herbs are nice to put on food because when they're dry, they still taste very good. Am I getting that garlic powder? Open it. Thank you. Okay, and then I'm sprinkling some granulated garlic all over. Bring the cutting board as well, the wooden one. So I'm just using my fingers to push all of that good flavor into our dough. And then our dough is going to go onto our tray, and it's going to go through a little step that is called proofing. And proofing is very important because proofing is the continuation of fermentation. Don't want to forget that now. Proofing is the continuation of fermentation. You want to proof the dough to see if the yeast is still active before you put it into the oven. So I want all of them to hold on this tray one way or another because I don't want a lot of stuff to wash up tonight. And here we go, guys. This is what they're looking like. I'm just going to slice a few tomatoes and add to my flatbread. While I check out my tarts are baking nicely. That's good. So guys, just for some other flavor, oh god, that knife is an embarrassment. We are going to slice up some tomatoes and put on it. Just put a few tomatoes down. So basically I'm giving each bread one cherry tomato. This is totally optional, but it makes it look nicer, doesn't it? So when you're making Italian food, guys, or any food from any culture, it's very important to understand the history of it. It's very important to understand the flavor profile so you can do a good representation of the cuisine that you're making. And then finally, it's not a pizza, but we're putting in just a little bit of mozzarella cheese and some fresh herbs. Okay, just to finish it all off. And so whenever I'm making Italian food, I'm always reminded of the freshness of the food, and of course the colors always remind me of the colors in the Italian flag. The colors in the Italian flag are red, white, and green. And so this is what our pizza, oh god, I almost said pizza. This is what our flatbread looks like, guys. So a close-up for Facebook. Take a look, guys.
Shiny brown, beautiful.
And also a close-up for our friends on Instagram.
Marlon Morgan, I note your advice regarding a perforated pizza pan. What practical purpose does the perforation serve? Okay,
so the perforation allows the heat to go right through and you will not get any steam.
My person's catering says looking delicious. Tip says
you.
nice.
So now guys, we wait. So it's waiting time now. Waiting time, waiting time, waiting time. I'm going to put our pasta sauce off to another stove, and then we're going to continue on with our salmon. Jacoby, you can start making that pasta. Thank you. You didn't give me the pasta dish, actually. So here we go, guys. Back at center stage is our sauce. I had it turned down because I didn't want it to cook too fast. So sauces takes a little while to cook, but not this one. This one is going to cook in 20 minutes because it's the nature of it. I'm just going to season it with, I told you I want to add just a little bit of sweetness because the tomatoes are very tart. So I'm adding about 2 teaspoons of sugar, and then I'm going to give it a taste.
Shiny brown, the gas stove back burner is on.
Yeah, I know. I turn it on for this. Let's give it a taste. Yes, sir. So we're going to let our sauce cook on that side while we get our pot ready for the salmon and the other part of our dish. What is it, Jacoby? Okay. So let us clear away. So when I tasted the sauce, a while ago, guys. All I'm tasting is that wine. So it's very important to cook the sauce until you cook off the alcoholic taste of the wine.
Colette Walker, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, my sister.
Karen McPherson says good evening.
Good evening. So I want to make sure that this is cooking low and slow. We don't want it to burn. Okay. So now we wait. We are going to saute our salmon and then remove it. And then we're going to add our tomatoes. Whenever I'm using these little tomatoes, I like to leave them whole because when you bite into them, they give a beautiful, delicious burst of juice. I like them that way. And besides, they're a little time consuming to cut, but they're sweet. They're very, very sweet. You guys should try them. They're great in salads, but they're even more delicious by themselves. So I'm going to add some oil in my pan here. Just about a tablespoon for our salmon. And we want this to get very, very, very hot because we're cooking fish and we don't want to put it in a pot that is not hot enough. And guys, I wish you could smell our pumpkin tart. They smell amazing. Oh, and 20 minutes has passed. Sheila, could you reach that cinnamon, please? 20 minutes has passed, guys, but they're not ready. So we're going to let them continue to bake at 300. And I set the oven to another 20 minutes. Jacoby, do not overcook that pasta. Don't overcook that pasta. The cinnamon is at the top. Are you seeing it? No. I can't find my cinnamon, guys. The cinnamon should be at the top shelf in a bag. So while I wait on my oil to get hot, I want to make that cinnamon sugar that we talked about earlier to put on top of our tart. And actually I cannot find the cinnamon. So I'm going to step out of the shop, guys, and go and look for my cinnamon. I might find it myself. Alright guys, come and read the comments. I look for the cinnamon. I went to the storeroom to get another stash of cinnamon, guys. So we're back in business. Cinnamon sugar is ready. I am going to sprinkle it onto our pumpkin tart. I'm going to remove it and give you a close-up of what it looks like. And then I sprinkle on the sugar so you can see. Let me just settle. So everything is happening. Our bread is proofing. Take that cover up, go in and put it behind you. So this is what our tart looks like. They're not set, they're not fully set, but they're getting there. So now we put some sugar on top, and in the final 10 minutes I'm going to put my oven on to broil, and I'm going to allow this sugar that we're putting on top to caramelize. Okay, but in the meantime we want to keep baking the custard low and slow so that it doesn't break. And then in the final 10 minutes we put the oven on to broil. So here goes. So the ones in the muffin pan, they're almost ready.
Rita French, good evening to you, Walker-Barrett family. Dinner looking super delicious, yummy.
Good evening, Miss French. Thank you for stopping in. So these are smaller, so they're almost ready. So these will come out shortly. Okay. So guys, Jacoby's on pasta. He's cooking the spaghetti. Our dinner is almost ready. Just checking our sauce. Gonna give it one more taste and be seasoned. I feel like it needs just a little bit more sugar. It's still a little bit too tart. So it's not a barbecue sauce, but the sugar is just balancing out everything in this sauce. So I'm gonna just turn it down, turn it down a little bit more. Okay. When we come back to it, it should be ready. So for our salmon, our oil is ready. It's smoking. We're gonna put our salmon in. You wanna hear that sizzle. Salmon cooks very quickly, so be mindful of that. So anything that cooks quickly, guys, also overcooks even quicker. Okay. So, you know, salmon is a little overpriced all over the world, but it has a nice flavor, and a little goes a long way. So I just bought a pound of it and cut it up, and that's what 1 pound looks. Jacoby, can I get some of that pasta water? This is gone. Okay, so we give it a little move around, because sauteing really means to jump. And this is the thing with salmon or any oily fish, it can stand up to the cooking. It's not as delicate as a white fish in terms of texture. Once you start cooking it, it coagulates up firmer, so you can really move it around.
First Lady Jules says, hey Deeper.
What is that?
First Lady Jules.
Hey. So this salmon was just seasoned lightly with a little Old Bay. That's what I put on it. I love the flavor of Old Bay on fish, anything. I love Old Bay, and I love Cajun seasoning. And so when I was seasoning the salmon, Jacoby said to me, oh, Mommy put a lot of salt on it, because he likes salmon with that salty note. So I told him that if he likes salmon with that salty note, he should go and get himself some smoked salmon. This is not smoked salmon. So at this point, I am going to add some of that Italian seasoning onto our salmon. And I'm going to deglaze it with a little bit of the wine. You want to carry over the same obedient flavors in all the parts of your dish so that it comes together. So just like about a tablespoon of the wine. And it's nice to add a little wine to deglaze fish because it takes the edge off, especially these frozen salmon that we get here in Jamaica. Sometimes they have a very strong smell that, you know, just lingers. So it's time to remove the salmon from the pot, and we're going to hold it. So we just remove it like this, and we are going to hold it, and then we're going to start cooking our tomatoes.
Mario Mills, hi chef.
Hey Mario.
Diana says I'm late. Nutty
Welcome.
Treat says looking great.
Welcome Diana, welcome, welcome, welcome. So now guys, it's time to roast our tomatoes. So remember I told you I like to leave these tomatoes whole. So I'm just going to put them in the pot and let them blister up. Alright. So we just want to cook them until the skin wrinkles and they start to burst.
Nutty Treat says welcome.
Alright. So the Putanesca sauce, the olives and the capers would have gone into the sauce traditionally, but I'm putting it here because I want to just pour everything over the pasta. So I'm putting the olives in here.
Mario Mills, just finishing a busy shift that I caught you. Chef from the Ritz-Carlton, Cayman Islands.
Hello, Chef Mario from the Ritz-Carlton, Cayman Islands. How is the Ritz these days, Mario? Still fabulous? So, at this time, we put everything back together, like so. And then we put our fresh herbs in, like that. And then we get our Putanesca sauce. And I'm coming in strong with the sauce. And I pour my Putanesca sauce in. And this is my salmon a la Putanesca. That's what we're gonna have with our spaghetti. And
Shiny
this,
brown, that looks so delicious.
and this is done. I'm gonna turn it off, and then at this time, this is what I do. I put the cheese right in because the kids like cheese. So I just put a little whole milk mozzarella in.
Joan So Fabulous says present miss, I am so late for class.
Welcome, Joan. Welcome, welcome. So our spaghetti is ready. So we're gonna plate our spaghetti. Here we go. So guys, this is the spaghetti. It's cooked. Put some more cheese on it. Cheese is optional, but for all of you cheese lovers, You can add, I'm adding a very neutral cheese tonight. I'm adding mozzarella because that's what I have. You can add a little Parmesan. So I'm adding some extra sauce before I put the protein on because you know the spaghetti is going to just take up quite a bit of this sauce.
Baking says wow, celebrating.
Mario Mills, fun facts. My chef who is born Italian told me that Putanesca is an old Italian dish prepared by women who work in the gentleman's club.
Yes, they work in the brothel. Yes, Mario, I know.
They prepare the dish to give the men vitality.
Well, there's so many stories to it, Mario. But yes, the stories always talk about the women in the brothels that prepare this sauce. One story with my Italian friend in college said that they would make the sauce to lure the traveling gentlemen. So, you know, to lure the persons into the brothels. All kind of story. I love a good story. Okay, so guys,
that looks so good.
So this is my version of the beautiful, tasty Putanesca sauce.
Shani Brown, loveless on the dinner.
Thank you. And we are going to bake our bread. So guys, I have to come off this live and come back on to show you the bread because the bread is not ready to put into the oven and you can't rush it. But this is ready. So I want you guys to take a look. So when we restart the live, if you can join us, you come back and we will show you what our bread looks like. And of course, what our dessert is going to be looking like. So thank you guys so much for joining us this evening to watch me make my Putanesca sauce.
Mario Mills.
And thank you, Mario.
I love the story food comes with,
yes.
Even if it's off the dark side.
Yes, I do love the story too, Mario, because it helps you to remember and it helps you to connect and appreciate. I think every dish has a story and we should tell them more so that the story can evolve.
Naughty Treat says, well, I need some of this to get some vitality. Sue sends out an emoji.
And so I use salmon tonight, but guys, you could use shrimp. Usually when I make it in my pasta class at work, I do shrimp for the students. Or you can just do whatever you like. So guys, we're gonna get off and rejoin. Yes? Let me know. And then we will just give them a close-up.
All right.
Finish. Are so crisp.
12%.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. If you're just joining, welcome. If you are returning, welcome. So I promise you that I'll come back on and show you what the finished dessert is looking like. So we're going to give you a close-up of what that is.
It's chocolate. Mocha Boo says I'm late.
Oh, you're late. Welcome anyhow. Tonight's dinner was inspired by Italian cuisine.
Trudy and Riley, hi Diva Chef.
Hey Trudy. So over here, guys, this is our pumpkin tart. This tart was really more like a Portuguese tart. So this was made with pumpkin puree and eggs and milk. We made a custard and then we baked it in pastry, and this pastry is puff pastry to be exact. I'm just finishing it with a little bit of honey, gives it a lot more character. So this is our dessert, and we're just calling it a pumpkin tart. So it is almost like it is a custard that is flavored with pumpkin, and that custard was baked into puff pastry shell to be exact. Then in the middle we have our flatbread, and this is a focaccia. This is made with garlic and flour, and then we garnish it with some tomatoes and some parsley and a little mozzarella. And then finally, guys, this is our main course. This is our Putanesca. This has been sitting here for a little bit. I'm gonna add some more sauce to it so you guys can see what it looks like. So the main focus tonight was to show you how to make a Putanesca sauce. The Putanesca sauce is an Italian tomato sauce that is made with anchovies, olives, capers, tomatoes. I added white wine to this one tonight, lots of fresh herbs, and for extra protein I sauteed some salmon and add to it. Look at that goodness. This is what it is. This is one of my favorite ways to eat pasta. I do not like cream sauces on pasta. I don't know if it's because I don't digest cream well. I always prefer a nice pesto or a tomato based sauce on my pasta. So this is our Putanesca sauce. So thank you guys so much for checking in. And then, did we show you everything? I think that's it, guys. So we have bread to soak up all of that extra sauce with. So we're going to have Putanesca sauce for days. And then finally we have our pumpkin tart that we baked in a pastry shell. And the pastry shell is absolutely, let me show you what it looks like. So I put some honey on it, so the pastry, so this is a little pumpkin tart in the middle, and then you have all of the crunchiness of the pastry right here. This is going to be legitimately delicious. Let me just show you the bread.
Trudy and Riley, that pasta is utterly yummy.
So this is our flatbread.
Utter yumminess.
Thank you, Trudy. This is our flatbread. This is focaccia, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So it kind of reminds you of pizza, but it's not pizza. This is goodness. I break into it and it is smelling like garlic because I actually added garlic powder in the flour. This is absolutely deliciousness. This can also use to make a sandwich, guys. So this is our dinner. Thank you so much for stopping in and for returning, and for those of you who are just joining us, guys, thank you so much for jumping on and looking at what we're doing. I just want to take this opportunity to introduce you to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is called Nextinfood. This is what it looks like. So it's one word, Nextinfood. So we're asking you to subscribe, watch our videos, and for those who have been subscribing or who have subscribed from day one, thank you guys, thank you. We are finally monetized, and we thank you for making our channel relevant. So the next step is to watch our videos, help us to keep our channel alive. It takes a lot of effort to make food. It takes money to make food. I love sharing my joy, my love of cooking with you. So in return, guys, I ask you to watch our videos, share our videos with a friend, with a colleague. Leave a comment down below. We would love, love, love to hear from you. If you are looking on Instagram and you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the link in our bio in Instagram. Click, my children is laughing at me. Click the link in the bio to subscribe. So it will take you right to the YouTube page, right, Ashley? So you can either go over to YouTube and search for Nextinfood, or you can go into the bio and click the link and it will take you to YouTube, and hit that subscription button, turn your notification on, and subscribe. Watch our videos. We don't put everything up there just yet. It takes some time, but we're getting there. We started in quarantine and here we are. We have done over 100 video tutorials, and that is something to be celebrated. And for those who have jumped on and did not hesitate to subscribe, I even see other YouTubers using my recipes. Guys, just credit us and just share the love, and so that we can all benefit. And also for the persons who made their reservation to experience our river dining experience on May 29, I want to thank you guys so much for reserving your seat. We are only seating 50% of our capacity as stipulated by the COVID something that is going on. So guys, remember to wear your mask to enter, and you're going to keep it on until you are seated and eating. We have 2 seating times, so for the persons that don't want to leave, your seating window is only 2 hours, so be on time for your reservation. And please do not be feisty with our host. I will come for you and ask you nicely to give up your seat for somebody else. Just remember guys, everybody wants the experience, so do not sit there and say you're not leaving. We don't take disrespect because we don't give it, but we want to thank you. And so guys, for those who did not get to reserve a seat for May 29, hopefully you can reserve a seat for June. Thank you so much. Share the live before you get off, and I will see you guys next time.
Sue says yummy.
Hey Sue.
Jay says loving it, chef. Y.O. Scott says wow, lovely spread, chef.
Thank you, thank you.
Richard Mason, amazing.
Hey Richard, thank you so much.
Vinny C says, what's the name of your dog, miss?
My dog, which one? I think the one that you're seeing is probably Irby. I have many dogs. I'm a dog lover. So guys, we're jumping off. We're going to eat the rest of our pasta. We're going to eat our bread. And we're going to eat our pumpkin tart. Thank you guys so much.
Petra Rose, absolutely amazing.
Hey Petra, girl, where have you been?
Sandy Brian Barkley, good job, chef.
Thank you, thank you.
Mela Marshall says, I'm late.
Welcome, you're late and we're leaving. But feel free guys to rewatch the live. And we'll put it up on YouTube for you to watch at your leisure. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next week.